Hello, hello, hello. Or better yet, what it do, Detroit? It's your girl, Miss Mouthy, also known as the Lips of Detroit. Happy New Year to y'all. I'm so excited to be here. I missed y'all so much. And so this year, we are bringing back season, I don't know, we going into 5 with Miss Mouthy podcast. I'm so excited to start the new year off with an amazing guest today. But before we bring out our special guest, we are going to talk about the title. The title hit me with an epiphany of one, y'all still know your girl favorite number is 7. So 7 things right. I think when we think about the new year, well, let me use my I statement. Let me start off with some accountability. I feel like when I think about the new year, I'm oftentimes thinking about all of the resolutions and all the things I didn't get to complete last year and how I want to set start the new year and be able to be this new and evolved version of myself and all the things that I have to get done. But I needed to pace myself. I needed to take a moment and say, you know what? I may not have accomplished everything that I wanted to do in 2024, but there was some shit that I did do. There were some things that I accomplished that I genuinely loved and I should have had celebrated because that's what you got to do. You got to look at the growth that you've been able to make throughout the year to just be able to allow yourself room to not feel bad if you didn't get everything off your list. So it's a new year, bitches, niggas. Okay. And I am letting myself go. I am in so much newness. I am popping my shit all 2025. And so, what our new hashtag is going to look like, you guys, is staying mouthy. It's being authentic and being true to you and hyping yourself up and hyping your friends up and hyping your tribe up. Just whoever is fucking with you, we are hyping them up. We are centering them. We are uplifting them. And so we're going to get into the year strong. And one of the things that I wanted to do was bring the strongest brother that I met in 2024 that was really out here moving and shaking visibility, doing amazing philanthropy work, and being a humanitarian, and being a creator and director and producer. And I just was like, okay, if he say yes to coming on Miss Mouthy for the new year, then baby, it's up and it's stuck. I know 2025 is gonna be bright. And y'all take a gander. Take a gander at what he said. He said, yeah, it'll be his pleasure to be on here. So we're gonna bring him out a little later. And well now, yeah, we have the one and only Seven King in the building. Welcome,
Yes.
Seven.
Thank you for that introduction.
Of course.
Thank you for including me on here. It's an honor to have built a rapport and bond with you and create this change and legacy together. I
Yes, for
appreciate it.
sure. Of course. Thank you for coming. I know one of the things that I like to do in Miss Mouthy is always give people a chance to kind of ease into what we about to talk and have an
Mm,
icebreaker. So we're going to get into a game. I want to know 7 of your favorite things, right?
yeah.
So let's get into it. What is your favorite book and
Um,
why do you resonate with that book?
One of my favorite books. Well, I love Sister Soldier.
Oh,
Um,
yes, take it back.
yeah. Shout out to the coldest winter ever and
Mhm.
Midnight. Actually, the Midnight book is one of my favorite fictional novels. But
Yes.
if I had to pick a realist, it would be the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Mm. Okay, okay. I
Yeah.
love that. So one of the ones that I'm Miss Bell Hooks have me in a chokehold by all means, but right now all things is love has been the thing that's just been doing me in. And so I'm gonna actually hate when I have to return that book. Okay, so what is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal is shrimp Alfredo.
Okay, okay. I didn't have a little shrimp Alfredo, but I did a little uh, um ravioli and shrimp pasta yesterday. So, but I used Alfredo sauce, so that's the secret.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, what has been your favorite place that you have traveled thus far?
Um, the Bahamas.
Still on
Yeah.
my bucket list. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like the Bahamas for the clear water. Like you could put your feet in the water and see your feet, the dolphins, and I love tropic weather. My family on my mother's side is from Puerto Rico,
Okay.
and I currently reside in Florida, and I resonate or call myself like an island tropic type man. So,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
really love the Bahamas when I went there. It was
I
so
love
peaceful.
that. I love that. So what is your favorite season? Since you so tropical, you gonna say summer?
I would say spring
Okay, okay,
because I like rain and sun.
okay, okay, cool. Um, Also, what is your favorite childhood cartoon?
Uh, oh wow, it's like I gotta tap into my inner child and
Yeah, you gotta heal that that person, okay?
um, I'll say uh, Popeyes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Take that spinach. Mm-hmm.
I
All right.
like
And
Rugrats too.
no, for real, that was a classic. Which one was your favorite?
Um, Angelica used to test people up.
Okay.
Yeah, she had a little attitude problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Liam was my favorite. I don't know why, but she by far was my favorite for whatever reason. Maybe because how she treated her brother, and that's how I
Yeah.
treated my brother. So,
Oh,
um, what else would I like to know? Okay, what has been your favorite series, past or present?
um, dang, that's a good one too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I like the Power series
Yeah,
when Ghost was in it.
yeah. The first
Um,
season.
yeah, I like timepieces, especially about Black historic pieces like um the series about Madam C.J. Walker
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on Netflix was one of my favorites that I could say, and I like P Valley too.
Oh, no, I love P
Yeah,
Valley. I can't wait till
yeah,
the new season come out. It could be out and I just late, but I
yeah.
can't wait to catch up on that. And lastly,
Mhm.
who would be your favorite person to want to collaborate with?
Barry Jenkins,
Okay,
the director of Moonlight.
nice. What is it about his style that captivates you?
Oh, his cinematography shots. I love how he could capture lighting, specifically on melanated skin.
Yeah,
I love how simple his films are, but how deep it feels.
yeah.
And I liked what he did with If Bill Street Could Talk. You
Oh,
know,
I love that
yeah,
movie. That is like one of my top five for sure.
yeah, and that's a Barry Jenkins film. So I
Nice.
would say Barry Jenkins. I would love to collaborate with him.
All right, so take us back to the beginning, Seven. Like, take us
Mhm.
to the creative process of when did you first discover that you had a love for film and creativity and wanting to do something in entertainment?
When I was young, I know it's cliche, but I was really born with the ability or gift to see visions.
Same.
And I could be looking at you and I could see a flash of visions, and it helps me creative wise,
Yeah.
especially with editing. So I noticed I was able to do that when I was 4 or 5. I was just seeing visions,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't think nothing about it. I just thought it was the mind thinking. But I used to write. I used to do music. I grew up with my father being an entertainer,
Yeah.
and the women in my family were all creative with decorating houses. So creativity on both sides was always there.
Natural.
Even myself, I like to decorate my house a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I won contests for writing. Um, since my father was a musician, I didn't want to be a musician. Out of probably a little resistance and rebelness,
Yeah.
yeah, create my own identity because my dad's legacy is a very powerful legacy
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
being one of the pioneers to start the genre of hip hop. But when I went through a rough moment in my life, I had a dream about Eden's Garden. And so when I woke up, I was like, this is going to be a hit,
Yeah.
like a viral hit, because usually a lot of big ideas sometimes come in dreams.
Yeah.
But since at that time I was so young, I had to, I bought my first camera from Amazon. So, having not a big budget, I had to be forced to learn this over time and over the years,
Right.
and being passionate no matter who was on board, what teammate stayed on, what actor stayed together. My
Yeah.
purpose was to create stories to bridge groups of people into different worlds that would never cross intersect.
I
And
love
I
it.
think P Valley did a great job with that too, because they have a series that cross intersects different gender identities, sexual orientations, and races, and identify as a humanitarian. Not because I lived a full life. I
Yeah.
have peer groups from international, from Pakistan to Africans to our people that I fight for, to the people that you know I don't just box myself into one subgroup, but at the same time I make sure each subgroup that I connect with cross respects other people
Yes.
that sometimes society judges and deems like these are the people you can make fun of, or these are the people that quote unquote are the normal to society.
Yeah.
So
No, for
yeah, so I always had a voice and I was loud about it. I spoke my mind when I thought stuff was being done unjust when I was young. So when it came to art, I just tied in justice, visibility, creativity, and art. And yeah, right now I'm actually working on a album as well.
really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't been really promoting it though because I
Okay.
don't. I like to work and get everything completed and then drop it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, as you should, as you
Yeah,
should. You don't want to do anything prematurely. I think that's
yeah,
really important about what you said. One of the biggest things of like why this year I kind of want to even change the way in which I know I categorize the podcast. Like normally it censors the narratives of trans and non-binary folk, but I'm realizing like my tribe is getting larger and like people
yes.
are embracing me of all different walks of life, and I want to be able to invite them to have these dialogues and be able to celebrate and inspire and
I feel included with your movement.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I think sometimes if people hear a certain word or category, they feel like they don't fit in there, and I never want anybody to feel like it's not represented of all people, because we all have a story and we can
mhm,
have dialogue, and I think some of the best conversations come from peer people of different walks of life to be able to really get a better understanding of each other. And
I
so
say, yeah,
yeah, so I want to know more about Eden's
mhm,
Garden. What
yeah.
was the creative process like, or how long did it take in full development of from conception to actual making it what it is today?
Well, the satisfied version of Eden's Garden took about 9 years for me to get to the satisfaction of it.
Yeah.
The trailer I sent, when I first went created Eden's Garden, I did a lot of nitpicking of brains, like with a lot of the fellas, like what do you think would be important to visibilize, and it was a lot of different conversations, and my ability to transmute all those things and write things, but it wasn't really from my heart or the vision I had in mind. So I did that, and me having to move from New York, I did an Atlanta version, and
Okay.
these were all short, like films, short episodic films. But when we first hit the ground, hit YouTube in 2015, it went viral instantly, with
Mm,
no marketing. I mean, Ebony Magazine contacted us, Huffington Post. Was invited to Obama White House due to this when he was president in the administration. So many alcoholics traveling the world got
right.
featured in Italy, and it was just a lot, and I learned along the way. But I told myself before I move forward to other content and other films, because I never want to be typecasted in a box. Like this is the only type of narrative and art I
Right.
make. I make bold and courageous art that a lot of people will be like, I don't really want to back that topic because of backlash, comments, and judgment.
Yeah.
But this content, our biggest audience is actually the people who are not a part of the LGBT, or
Yeah.
people from countries that are ostracized for having an expressive type lifestyle. And the process was a lot of writing, hours of writing. I had to quit jobs in the beginning just to
Yeah.
be able to be on set, shoot the camera, edit, cast, and direct. I poured a lot of my savings into this project.
Yeah.
I made this happen regardless if a sponsor had my back or not. Never grew up with the politics of understanding non-for-profit sponsorship world,
Yeah.
even though all of those places play a part. I grew up. Originally from the Bronx. I never went with the bandwagon. I always went
Right.
with the beat of my own drum, and even I felt like I was just always different. So yeah, so to fast forward, that I didn't understand those politics because I didn't grow up intersected with
In
that,
it. Yeah.
and there's also a lot of gatekeeping of information.
Come on, let's talk about it.
So, shout out to the organizations and the leaders that are not, gatekeeping and helping all of us intersect
Yeah.
and build bridges and shine light on different narratives and platforms that we all have, because all of us is like a fingerprint different. And imagine if we could make a puzzle and connect, from what you're doing on your platform and how it's going to continue to grow and go universal, what I'm doing. And so many people, what I like doing is showcasing the people that might not be the popular picks or
Yeah.
so visibilized,
Hmm.
and giving them platforms. I feel like, that's where my heart is, the king of like underdogs or people misunderstood. And I think Eden's Garden is considered taboo because of just the focus of it, being film that categorizes the transition of somebody that may have been born female that transitions to male.
Yeah.
And they put your sex on your birth certificate, they don't put your gender. So this right here just goes into so many intersections, from gender identity to blackness with it, to having to be creative because it's not a documentary, it's like a script. So acting, and so many people pouring their hearts. And shout out to the allies that became a part of this project, you
Yeah.
know, that stood with us and said, "Hey, I'm an actor, and I feel like this is raw art." So in 2022, for me to do the final version, I prepared 2 years ahead of time.
Hmm.
Anytime I do a project, I'm already in the process of pre-planning a year and a half,
Yeah.
and that's an intricate pre-production. You have pre-production, production, and post-production, then promotion.
Yes.
And having a team of basically probably two people sometimes, and
Hmm.
most of the time my actors that are so loyal and passionate with us finishing the project having my back, I have to create such that big space
Yeah.
to develop, you know, projects. But it was a lot of writing, a lot of organizing, a lot of casting, a lot of putting money into casting calls, a lot of hours of acting coaching, a lot of booking locations, a
Yeah.
lot of just it's an intricate being a director because you're responsible of everything coming together, from the editors to the actors to the team to the food. So it's
All
a
the minute details you already have to think and plan it out. And I
yeah,
love what you said about the underdog. That was one of the reasons I almost gave up with
uh,
the podcast. But I realize now I'm not giving up until I get to where I want to be. I had this vision like yourself, and I'm not having it any other way. And so for the people thank you everybody who's currently tuning in, and we see the love. Thank you so much. Y'all can shoot the comments if there's anything. Seven, I want to give the people back home a second to see your amazing work. So, Jamie,
Thank you.
can we run the trailer so we can have context around what we're talking about? Yeah, no worries.
I see the comment.
Yes, it's sharing. We can see it.
Yeah. Seven is he's probably the hardest working person I ever seen in my life. You know, I've seen hardworking people on TV, but in person, I came from Baltimore for this film, so I was going back and forth. You know, a lot of times I stayed with him, and when I tell you, it would be mornings where, like, early in the morning, he would just jump up, right to work, right to work.
Mhm.
And it's amazing. It motivates me to want to work harder and be better.
Mhm.
So I just really want to applaud him, and I really thank him.
Big up the seven. Big up the seven. Oh
Body
yeah.
as well. You know,
Yeah.
not too many people.
Mhm.
You know, they always look for the big. You know, the
Yeah.
Angela Bassett's. And,
Okay. Yeah.
Ain't no love for boys like us in a city like this, but we stand tall, chest out, and we be facing our fears. Under surveillance by the world for the way that we live, but we ain't tripping cause we grow from the hate that you give. This life is crazy, but just like a gorilla in a box, you can't tame me. And even though they hate me, I could never let it phase me, cause boy, I was born to win. You could look me in my eyes, you see a star within. I am the stone that the builder refuse. I am the visuals, the inspiration that make ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your eye dead bright, the same spark that lights your dark, so that you can know your left from your right. Get it? A lot of wounds and they ain't closing, but we growing, healing. And if you can't see the art, you can see the picture. Let's take a second for them guys who no longer with us, and they ain't dead, they just changed and they turn to widows. I know them boys, they be sick when they see how we living. Now you gotta tune in if you wanna get with us. Eden's Garden, new season, this is just the beginning.
Okay. That's amazing, Seven. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Of course. So that is Eden Garden, everyone. That is what we were referencing a little bit more before for some people who may be joining. But yeah, we have the amazing Seven King, and we're talking about all things seven things right. And so you've been talking a lot about how just doing the right thing. And it seems like from the first clip, you've inspired someone just by, hey, everybody joining. Welcome. Um,
Oh, my
that
brother.
yeah, shout them out. You can shout everybody out.
Everyone. Thank you, Jasmine McKenzie, Brianna. Yeah.
Period. Yep. So yeah, it seems like your work ethic had inspired one of your actors. And so do you want to talk a little bit more in context around what that clip was that we watched?
Oh yes. We was filming a film that in New York, and sometimes to make big, large projects happen, I'll open my doors. I would just do whatever. But while all of them was sleeping, I'll be working on the pre-plan of the outline of the
Mm,
schedule of editing movie posters and everything. So I really don't stop working until a idea or goal is done.
yeah,
For those that already see how I'm pre-planning a festival, until it gets to that weekend, I'm
yeah,
just in focus mode. And I'm also a Taurus, so we have very strong focus abilities when we put our head towards a goal. But it was basically the whole agenda, from charging equipment to making sure they eat to doing schedules to typing out outlines, and everything it takes to get a job done. And I'm very meticulous with detail, so I
yes,
don't wing projects. I put every little step that is probably the steps
Necessary.
that people don't want to do for a project is the things you need to do for a project. Because when you do projects, problems will come, things will happen.
No, for
And
real.
what makes a good director or anybody that's in a position of management is your ability to navigate issues or problems when they arise. So I usually plan for, okay, if scenarios happen, I have a plan B or a solution.
Yeah.
So, just to make it easier, because I don't, if you're going to be chasing your dreams or doing anything creative, you can't expect everything will be perfect or
No,
you're
for
going to win the first time. I actually failed a couple times before I became the director I am, the
yeah.
editor I am. I did this version of Eden's Garden probably 4 or 5 times before I got satisfied with it. So imagine how much of my personal money I put into this over and over until the point now is ready to be submitted to Tubi. Is I'm ready to go to another project. The key to success for me is finishing what you start.
Yeah.
A lot of people, we all have ideas, the mind is constantly going, but if you can't finish what you start, you won't understand your own strength and how to manifest.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
even if you go through a rocky time and you want to take a season off, you have to finish it. My ability to with doing that, now I can manifest 2 or 3 things at a time, but
Yeah.
it started with just finishing one thing at a time. So he was just observing just how I move as a person. Because when we wasn't on set, I was still working on stuff.
Yeah. The one
Yeah,
thing that I think I love about what I'm hearing you develop in the ways in which you work with everyone around you is one, you're intentional about who and what and people talents and skill set, but
mhm,
also in this industry, I think it's so important to treat people not only how you want to be treated but how they're deserving, right? if
that's it.
we if we get into the work of treating people the way that they deserve to be treated, especially as creatives, right? There
Mhm,
is no union to guarantee people being treated the way in which they will. If you get the job, you get it. You might make some sacrifices. You might have to do things that is a little bit compromising, but what it sounds like is that you're really developing a blueprint for people
mhm.
to feel appreciated and continue to go into their dreams and know that actually at the end of it, it was all worth it. That someone saw you, they invested in you, and they're actually going to treat you decent. And if not decent, they're going to treat you well.
Yes.
That's dope.
We also as a people have to respect. A lot of times, um, if Ryan Murphy comes to our city or community, people would jump for 5 minutes to be
Yeah,
in the background. But when we have people in independent or anybody in our community,
got it.
anybody that's the leader of an organization, anybody that's the head of a non for profit, you have to keep that quality of respect as well, because sometimes our own community, you know, from the shade or just the antics that they do,
Mm-hmm,
it
mm-hmm.
is not okay, because a lot of those people sometimes in the industry won't even care about your name or who you are. By tomorrow they get what they need and gone. So the respect level, especially for people who master their craft, and if it took them years to get what they have done, either respect their price or be honest about what's your intentions to see if they could collaborate with you.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
and because I've worked with a lot of people from different walks and community and had all kind of scenarios, so it was intense to get to this point too. But I also have no regrets, and I'm very appreciative of all the supporters and people that wrote me or said that that project meant something to them or that project inspired them to transition, because I
Yeah,
had no idea it was making impact like that at all, because I was always in the work mode until I meet people in person and they tell me. And I thank you for everyone, because that right there feels like $1 million to my heart.
no, for
Like
real.
it was felt and it was worth it, and it made impact, and y'all care. Thank you.
I got a question for you because you just made me think of something in this industry and doing this work. And sometimes we can have a lot of different things that we're going. How do you keep your humility in the center of all of that? Because even like we see
Yeah.
often, whether in entertainment and ballroom and politics and career, like just in general, people tend to lose themselves outside of the identity of who they're trying to become or who they are. So how do you really keep yourself grounded in as you do all these things?
Well, I was never that person that um, I don't know if Mean Girls is the right
Hmm.
movie scenario, but there's groups that are considered cliques. I was like the black sheep out of that. I
Yeah.
was so different. They would try to test me,
Yeah, say it.
make me question myself with that. So since I never fit in and I was always standing out myself, even if I wanted to connect with them, it helped me navigate my own path and have to walk alone and have to understand who I am and my difference, but also my relationship with the Most High. I'm a very
Hmm.
spiritual person,
Hmm.
so I'm not. I feel from observing people who have some type of spirituality,
Yeah.
whether they're Christian, Muslim, traditionalist, whatever you believe in, is something that's checking the ego in you,
Yes, I
because
agree.
those that are like I observed have no connection. You could see the arrogance or the ego more in the forefront at all times. So I
Yes.
know these gifts that I came here with, it was not just because of me, and it's also because of the lineage, because what's in our blood and DNA is also, a reflection of who
Yeah.
we are.
It's
Whether
in us.
yeah, whether you got, a temper, whether you're a nurturer or creative, um, you know, and I also had time practicing, you know, years with African
Mhm.
spirituality. So even I found that my ancestors come from a Shobo and they were the king's people. So they did the murals on the statues, what
Yeah.
they would call Oshun's grove. So, but as of today, I could say my relationship with the Most High, me having to be out on my own, ostracize and go through my own path, and because life is short, and I take every day as it comes as a gift, and when you really have something, you don't have to showboat it like
That
it's
part.
a campaign. You could be in slippers and it could come out like that.
Mhm.
When you are who you are, nobody could box you in. Nobody could, you can't edit that. You can't filter that. It's just who I am. And I'm
Talk
a,
about it, 7, okay? Period.
yeah, I'm a
Stay
down to
mouthy,
earth.
okay?
Yeah, I'm a down to earth person too, because I had to get it out the mud for a lot of things in life. Everything. Right now, I'm about to do a seminar for a training with my job this weekend while
Okay.
managing, like, things that I do independently, because the independent is where my heart and my baby is in my
Right,
heart.
right, right.
So I think it's different levels of
Alright.
things.
So because you got your head on a swivel, I think in Miss Mouthy, we're gonna start doing a question and give advice to somebody. People gonna be able to send in random questions that they would like myself or my guest to answer. So, Jamie, if you could play our question of the day, that would be great.
Miss Mouthy, my question is, how do an individual maintain and obtain a healthy friendship?
Okay, period. Thank you for that question. I feel like the best way to obtain a healthy friendship is to be very transparent about what your intention in that friendship is, right? I think it's important to understand that every friendship has a season, but also I go back to my number one rule. To want a friend is to be a friend.
Yes.
You have to treat people in the ways in which you deserve, and it is okay. it is okay that you might have certain friends for certain kind of occasions. I got girls that I can go out to the club with and do it up, okay? And especially when I was in my single era, and then I got girls who really gonna put it to me and make me grow and challenge myself and do that introspective work that's necessary to like check my ego, to check my pride, to hold myself accountable, to see where I'm growing up. And if my real intention is not to cause any harm, we can have that transparent conversation and it still wouldn't leave any animosity or weirdness. So that's what I would say. What about you, Seven?
Um, Understanding that your friend is going to go through changes in life. We all change. They say the brain changes every 4 to 5. Being able to be have confidentiality. If you know your friend or peer may not mess with a certain person, is sometimes you gotta make sacrifices. Like
Yeah.
I'm that type, if my close circle say, hey, this person I had to have a boundary with, then I'm gonna keep that type of boundary too.
Mhm.
Maybe it's because I'm from the 80s or 90s era,
No,
but
for real.
it's just like certain, like I believe love is action. So it's
Yeah.
even little things, even though and we know the difference between just everyday associates from your friend.
Yeah.
Being able to understand things are not going to be perfect, but communication is key. And as long as there's no disrespect there, because I think disrespect will be underlining things that is always felt, and there's sometimes your biggest enemies will be was once your friends. So being
Yeah.
able to, you know, really see someone for their heart, mind, and different ways, and how they treat you when they're mad is very important. I
Yeah.
think that's even important in relationships.
Yeah.
But, and also having understanding. Like, I could say, like, my friends or people that really know me, if they don't hear from me in a week, they don't get really personal, they don't take it the wrong way or offensive.
Mhm. Mhm.
They understand in anything when we talk is like we was talking for 7 days straight, you
Yeah.
know. So just being thankful to have a friend,
Yeah.
because a friend in this lifetime is something special to have, because we're not supposed to live life on our own. We're
Yeah.
not supposed to be we need a village. If you have a relationship, that's a blessing, but your friends is there regardless if you're in a relationship or not. So that is something to value.
Yeah. I've also honored being able to respect when a transition happened in the friendship where like one of the hardest loss I've ever had has been through a friendship. You would think it'd be a breakup, but friendships is hard. It hits
Yeah, that
different for me. I'd be like, oh, I thought you were gonna be here with me. I thought we were gonna have memories. But I also have to honor that you came into my life, you poured into me, you saw me, we laughed together, we cried together, whatever moments we had, understand that it's treasured. It forever will be with me. It will forever change me. But then I also understand the value of growth and having to understand, like, okay, this friendship is no longer serving me.
right.
So talk to us about what you got coming up because I'm excited for New York. I've never been to New York. Tell the people what's cooking.
Yes. For everybody that wants to know, in New York, we will be doing the Visible Voices Festival and Eden's Garden Summit 2025. Um, this right here, the festival is not just about an event just to do it. It's really because of the administration that's coming in 3 days,
Yeah.
and the resistance for our rights, the resistance because we don't know what's the next 4 years will happen. Of
Hmm.
course, stuff takes times to roll out and shift, but making our voices heard and not letting the fear mongering of what was used in the campaign as their closing argument make you think that stealth might be safety, but our allies, our families, our parents, our lovers, us as people who are the bridge to a lot of people being confident to be themselves when they see that you will actually live who you are outside physically. So that's going to be from June 26th to the 29th. June 26th, I'm releasing the official fictional novel called Eden's Secret to the project of the Eden's Garden series as I transition to do other content. And the biggest major project I'm working on and casting for in the state of New Jersey and New York is my father's story, which will be a pilot to be picked up for whatever Destiny has, movies, Netflix. But my father is a part of a hip hop group called the Furious Five. If you
Period.
if you Generation Z, Google that. You'll
Uh-huh,
get
uh-huh.
Grandmaster Flash. If you ever heard this song called "Don't Push Me," cause I'm close to
To
the
the
edge.
end. Okay.
I'm trying not to
To
lose
my
my head.
head.
Ha, ha, ha. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's
that
fire.
yeah. My uncle Melly Mel, fathers in that group. So it's an honor to be, to be able to get to the point in a director that I could now contribute to their legacy
Yes.
and be his child doing their movie
Mm,
and seeing what happens. And I also love romance films. So I
me
wrote
too.
a film called Roman Rain that would be shot out of New Orleans. So yeah, the promotions for the casting calls will drop in July and August. So that's my biggest two things is well three things: releasing the book, managing and directing the festival, and the casting call towards the end of the year. And for me, just keeping myself grounded with everything going on in the world.
I love that so, so much. Yeah, and I'm excited because I'll be in New York. It'll be an honor to be a part of one of your visions and your love projects. So I'm excited to be on the blue and pink carpet doing
Miss
interviews.
Mouthy doing the live on blue and pink carpet instead of the red carpet
Mhm.
live. Her show will be there. Her and her husband will also be a moderator on
Yeah.
Saturday at the ceremony. So come check us out.
Yeah, we gonna be in that thing, and so the people is gonna come and they're gonna support. So as we into this new year with seven things right, seven
Mhm.
being my favorite number, what were seven things that you feel like you did right in 2024? Seven.
In 2024, I didn't get in. Oh wait, I can't say that.
Oh, that's gonna be the unedited version. You on Patreon, y'all. Okay,
You said on Patreon.
okay. They gonna have to
Um,
pay for that.
Seven things. I strategized all the film festivals I got into. I submitted everything the year before, so all the wins that happened in 24, I submitted in film festivals in 23. Um, restructuring my circle, that was the
Mhm,
biggest blessing. Um, choosing what different way I want to go about my spiritual path, that would be three.
mhm,
Um, Number four, sticking close to my own plan that I have. So, you know, even if I didn't want to work, I had to work because I got personal plans for myself.
yeah.
Number five, reconnecting myself with the Most High in a different way.
Mhm,
And number six, still striving, still pushing, and still being driven to not give up and not quit. And number seven, just being present and able to manage all these projects
yeah,
from
you're doing a
beginning to
hell of a
end
job.
throughout. Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of work. So when I looked at my recap for 24, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was definitely looking forward to getting having a partner and having a wife.
It's coming. It's coming. Okay, they're gonna see this episode and they're gonna be in the DMs. Okay, so just prepare because come June you're gonna be like, "Yep, it's here." Okay, because it's a whirlwind. That
Yeah,
I will say, love is a whirlwind. Shout out to my fiance, amazing, everything, Grayson.
yeah, my brother.
But yeah, literally a year ago, life looked completely different, and a year later, I'm up now. Like it's just if not me, then who? Okay. 7 things that I feel like I did right in 2024 was one, I surrendered to God's will and just let Him use me as a vessel that He see fit. Two, I forgave myself for things that I didn't know any better of and the lessons that I had to learn, but also the things that I did know and I still chose the wrong thing.
Yeah,
Okay, because that's important. Never giving up. I think sometimes just um doing the podcast, but in life, just never giving up on myself and having the ability to show up every time it get hard, even if it didn't feel like I could see the light at the end of the tunnel.
right.
Four, letting go of people and things that harm me or limit my ability to grow. That was something that I struggled with being such a people pleaser. Loving on my inner child. That's why I had you go back to your cartoon.
Yeah,
It's important to recognize that and like do that healing work from things that I didn't know that was coming up for me. And we still bonded. That's my little homie. She pick out my outfits. Six, strengthen my faith. I promised God that I would stop just coming to him when I was in need or at my worst and celebrate and have that connection in the same way where everything is going right. And I don't
yes,
need to come with eyes full of tears. And seven, allowing myself to love past my fear. I didn't recognize how much while being in a relationship I was fearful of love and letting somebody in and trusting a whole nother human being. And now it's no fear there when you're being loved properly. And even when you recognize that human beings, right? Like they're going to get it wrong. They did
right.
it to Jesus Christ. And so just allowing myself to not let the fear of actions and things of other people who may not know what they've done to me stop me from loving them. And
Yeah.
those were the things that I did right. Any final thoughts you want to
Okay.
leave the people with before we
Well,
wrap this thing on it?
I want to thank everybody that tuned in, especially because a lot of the people who tuned in is just like people who are, right
Yeah.
here with me. Letting everybody know that, we was born here for a certain reason in this time. Um, you fear nothing in life. You could use your own alchemist energy.
Yes.
If people see this next administration as a negative, how can we change this negative and make it a positive for us? Let's take all the politics that come with the internet and titles. There might be somebody that needs to be a part of your team that don't have the backing or know the right people or have the conversational style. Let's use our energy and tribe up these next 4 years.
Yes.
If anybody's looking to do any kind of resistance movements, any type of movements to keep people like on the same side, I'm able to contribute in means of mentorship and means of putting the plans together, like admin, of course, visuals things. If you need anything visual, you can always contact me at 7kingstudios at gmail.com or just on Facebook at 7king or on Instagram at Poppy7king, but I'm a part of it. Outside of being a leader, I love to be a team player. Because for you to be a great leader, you got to know also how to be a student and also how to work with other people.
That part.
So, you know, it's the beginning of the year. Make maybe your goal is just to get some rest. Success doesn't always have to be tangible and material, but you understanding what you need and looking at the cards on your table keeps you more true to your path and able to elevate.
Yeah. You dropping gems, okay? And so, you know, I just want y'all to know that thank y'all for tuning in. Seven again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you more than you know.
Thank
Um,
you.
to everybody, this is just the beginning. We are in a new year and I'm just feeling like I'm scratching the surface. 5 years in, I'm excited about what's to come. If this is how we bringing in the new year, then I'm excited and it's stellar. Tonight, y'all know I will be at the Icebreaker tonight at the re-grand opening of Pandora's Box. Anybody from Detroit that know what it used to be, I will be out tonight for Martin Luther King weekend. It's the kickoff, and we're going to be there at 6221 East Davidson Street in Detroit.
Yeah.
Um, Also, tune in to the 28th. We will be having the Mouthies do the podcast, the Couple Corner edition. And so I'm just excited again, still to be able to come here, stay mouthy, pop my shit with y'all, okay? And let y'all know I'm not done yet. We just getting here. And so every time y'all see me, y'all know what it is. I'm bringing the energy, opening it up to everybody. Everybody who want to feel inspired, empowered, and uplifted is going to be right here at the Miss Mouthy podcast for
No,
2025. So
that's
it's still the same girl from Detroit, even when you what? Don't see me, you hear me. Till next time.